Waycross Sports coverage of OHSAA Tournament Wrestling. Made possible thanks to the generous support from the Southwest Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association. Jeff Burkhoff of the Old Coaches Association. A Finneytown Wildcat alumnus. Kent Smith of State Farm. The Cold Spring location of La Rosa's. Sarah and Dan Starkey. Klein Residential. Friends of Operation Give Back. Matt and Dominique Mercurio. Dr. Kevin Riley. And Dr. Stephen Daly.
And welcome, folks, to Waycross Community Media's coverage of the Division I District Finals. I'm Dave Bean, and with me tonight are Dwayne Meyer and Don Jones, along with the additional volunteers from Waycross who are operating the cameras, the graphics, sound, replay, and hauling the cables and equipment. All of this is managed and directed by Tony Suarez. We'll be bringing you the coverage of the finals here at Fairmont. And we actually are starting at this point. And who do we have on the mat out there, guys?
Well, right now we've got Mitchell from Oak Hills, Brandon Mitchell. He was 36-4 coming in, which put him at 39-4. He just got himself the first takeout in the start of the match. And Don, who are we going against here? You got Taylor from Centerville?
Yep, Taylor from Centerville. And believe it or not, they're both sophomores.
Wow.
So they got a couple more years left in high school.
One of the things that is kind of outstanding at this, the number one, well, ranked number one, whatever that means anymore, wrestler in the state is not wrestling.
Yeah, unfortunately, the young man from Mason who was ranked number one and I think had already beat these guys, was able to make weight this morning and cut his career short. Very unfortunate turn of events, but great turn of events for these two young guys.
Yes, sir. Every opportunity you get is, the opportunity is there. You just have to step through it.
Yep.
Yeah, looking at these guys, they both won their respective sectionals last week.
See, Oak Hills, what sectional were they in? I lose track of them anymore.
Oak Hills came out of the Middletown sectional.
Yeah. And Franklin was in
Centerville.
Centerville
was in Centerville 1.
Yeah, 1.
He's doing a nice job running that arm bar. This will be a real comfortable 5-0 lead here at the end of the first period. You got 20 seconds to go. You can still get a pin out of it.
And for those of you that aren't recognizing the singlets the guys are wearing, Oak Hills has a red anklet on, and it's predominantly has red along with the black. Oh, and he picks up a fall in the first period. Wow. That'll make you happy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, so that gives Brandon Mitchell our first district champ of the night. Congrats to the Highlanders.
Boy, that harkens back to a long time ago, Dwayne, even before your time, when the Highlanders just absolutely dominated.
Oh, I remember
things.
that when we were wrestling in the Hamilton County Athletic Association, the Suburban Athletic Association, and they were in the league list. It was you with Green Hills and Finneytown and Reading and Oak Hills.
Yep. That was a wild time.
Northwest.
That was a wild time.
Yep.
I think
the dominant Dick Roach was running the show at the time.
Yeah, and of course before him Frank Schout was the man in control of the Highlanders. We're going to probably be picking up the other matches. You can see there's 3 mats on the floor.
If we get to mat 3, that'd be great.
And mat 3 is at the, I think that's to the left of the center mat.
There, if I go to mat 3, we got
there. That's 3, isn't it? Or is that? Yeah, that is. And who do we have
there
on?
We go.
Who's down there on mat 3? We got a kid from Elder and one from Butler, right?
Yeah, we do. Going for
4-3, Green. That's Butler out in front.
So right now we're watching the 5th place match between Wismer of Springboro and Phil Beck from West Carrollton.
Yeah, I thought we had the other mat on. Yeah, this is the 5th place match.
Right.
That's what happens when we're running matches on different mats, and coming up next week it gets really confusing when we have 6 mats all going at the same time.
So Coach, do they still get the team points for the 5th place match, or are they already added in?
I don't know. I think they do if they win.
Well, that's huge because Springboro's fighting for a team title, and that's big right there. A Springboro kid going to his back. So Springboro's going to need every point they can. LaSalle is right on their heels coming into the team score, and there's a fall for the West Carrollton.
Yeah. The Springboro.
So now we're looking at the 3rd place match over here, Don.
Yep.
We got Lee from Butler and Magnus from Elder.
And it's still 4-3 with the Butler wrestler in the lead. He's on top, the kind of yellow, gold singlet.
Yep. Butler's winning 4-3 right now.
While we're sorting our way through, some of the folks might not recognize Don down here, especially because it's the first time he's been with us. Don, tell us a little bit about your wrestling background.
Yeah, it's good to be part of this tonight. It's exciting. This arena's electric. People are having a good time. But I've been in Cincinnati for 20 years. Started coaching Loveland Youth Wrestling and coached that for about 7 years, and then joined Dwayne over at Moeller, and we coached the ECCW, which was the junior high Moeller club team. And we had some awesome wrestlers there.
We did.
And then about 10 years ago, I said, hey, I'm going to start my own wrestling club. So I've been doing Teen Jones Wrestling for the last 10 years. We do practices on Mondays and Wednesdays year-round, do some summer camps, and do a bunch of clinics throughout the year. So excited to be around the program.
Well, you came close, Don, where you were going to get beeped because the only thing, you can't advertise your company.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
That's all right. That's all right. We wouldn't get the beeper out right away.
All right, this is why we're going back to mat 1. I got Damian Ryan from Centerville. And Don, who do you have there?
We got Logan Biesecker from Beaver Creek.
All right, so Ryan is sophomore. He's 23-4. So I put him at 26-4 right now, coming into the finals.
Yeah, looking at Biesecker, he won a close semifinals match. It was 7-5 in overtime.
These two met in their sectionals. No, they didn't. They were in different sectionals.
Right.
Centerville 1, Centerville 2, but they're in the same local area. That's a kind of an interesting thing, Dwayne. You mentioned this earlier when we were talking before the wrestling started. When's the last time you can remember a non-Greater Cincinnati wrestling team winning the district? And in
And I
Springboro,
look back, Coach, I can't find it. So I look back 10 years and I don't see any. And I think Dayton Wayne came close to knocking off Moeller back in their heyday.
boy, getting a surf in there.
They're getting aggressive out there.
We're getting, well, at least we've got a monitor we can see. Otherwise, we got
He's
to
gonna
look
be real
through the
close
back
here.
of Dave Jacobson's head to
Well,
see the match.
He's got plenty of time. He just doesn't want to push this, Don. And there he got the ball.
it. Picked it off. Wow. These guys are really flying through the championship bouts. That kind of surprises you. A lot of times you get here and nobody seems to want to wrestle to win.
Well, I'm thinking that Bron Alexander must have dinner plans. That's what's really going on. He's out there cracking the mat, keeping this thing moving.
He was the one. It's a good thing we didn't mic him up. He was saying he wanted us to mic him up, but we could have heard him ordering supper.
Hey, Bron, you got dinner plans or something? You're going awful quick out there. He's denying. He gave me the head shake no. I just asked him.
You know, that match we just saw, I mean, Damian was a sophomore and Logan was a freshman, so they got a lot of years left.
I tell you, I mean, so right now we've had 3 sophomores and a freshman in the championship final
Absolutely.
so far.
Yep.
And it's unusual at the district finals to see quick pens like that. I mean, these are hotly contested matches.
I think we're going to, we got the match 3 down there, mat 3.
Yes, we've got Dupker from Elder and McCall from Lebanon.
And Depker's got the purple People Eater colors on.
Yeah, Willie was 20-3 coming in a tournament, so he's had a heck of a season. He's still going to go to state tournament, and he's looking for a fall right now. Cranking up, he's up 7-0 and adding to it.
Yeah, he lost to Ryan. I think Don mentioned this. He lost to Ryan in the semifinals, 7-5. Before that, Depker had a pin and a technical fall, and then got into that close one with Ryan for a 7-5 loss. And this is a good kid.
Yep.
You know, we look at that McCall kid. He's a 9th grader. You know, these wrestlers are starting younger and younger, and when they get to high school, they're ready to go as 9th graders, a lot of them.
Yeah, the junior high. It used to be when we were setting up tournaments in the past, and we were doing pre-drawn tournaments. You know, you just turn in your records and your background and feed it into a computer, and you didn't have to have a big long seed meeting. When they first came out with the junior high state tournament, we kind of discounted the junior high placers. That was a mistake. We only did that 1 year. That's when we were, and then the next year we started saying, well, wait a minute, this is every bit as good as a 5th or something like that in the varsity.
Yeah, that's what Don and I, when we first started at ECCW and we were going to the junior high state tournament, we saw right away the level of competition at junior high state tournament is unbelievable because it's one division.
Yeah.
So you're not broken up. It's one division, and multiple kids from one team at the same weight class can show up. You know, it's not a team event. So now you're seeing the number 2s and 3s from Graham all in the same bracket and St. Ed's, and it was a great way for Southwest Ohio kids to get ready for high school wrestling. And I tell you, Jude Roth from OHSAA, who put that together, just did a fantastic job building something to help Ohio wrestling.
Yep. And we've seen it too, and Dwayne and I have talked about it, where we see kids not placing at junior high, state, and then going on to placing in high school.
Yeah.
Because of the 3 divisions versus 1 division.
The introduction of wrestling in the junior high is not actually an introduction for a lot of the kids going into the junior high tournament. You guys worked with the AAU programs and USWF programs, and so kids were starting out, you know, like my sons did when they were 6 years old, I suppose.
Right.
And they came through. One of the things that you worry about with that is the burnout factor. And I know, Dwayne, I think you and I talked about this one time, that is something that is avoidable, and if burnout does take place, it's something that somebody is really responsible for.
It is.
And it isn't the kid.
You know, some kids can handle it, but the majority of it. And when Don first came over to ECW with me, I mean, Don was a goer, and we talked about it. I think we practiced 2 nights a week, wasn't it, Don?
Yep, sure was.
So here we were practicing 2 nights a week, and we ended up having one of the best teams in the country. But the kids were having fun. I mean, we didn't let them cut weight. We kind of told them what weight to go, and we focused on just working hard for 2 hours twice a week and going at it on the weekends.
Yeah.
It worked well for us.
Well, Dwayne hit it on the head. You know, the kids have to have fun, even at the youth level. I continue asking the kids, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Because if you're not having fun, then you gotta figure out
Right.
why.
Well, that's when I decided to stop coaching. It's when I stopped having fun. You know, seriously. If it's a different kind of fun. But when I stopped looking forward to going to practice and having something that was rewarding, that was fun, I said, that's enough. I'll go do something else now.
Yep.
14-4 in this match with Elder out in front. You see the lad's got a shoulder that he's got all taped or wrapped down. And I know that he was hurting following the consolation semis because a guy got a head lever in on him and cranked on that shoulder a little bit, but he doesn't seem to be bothered by it now. Adrenaline's a funny thing.
Yep.
Sure is.
So look at team scores right now, guys. We're at Springborough's at 122.5 in first place, LaSalle at 109.5 in second place, Lebanon at 104.5 in third, Beaver Creek's at 104, Centerville's at 93, Butler and Elder are tied at 82.5.
Wow. That's remarkable. A year ago at this tournament, if you saw somebody from Dayton in the finals, Padilla, you know, and those guys, the number ones maybe in the country, they were in there. But by and large, it was the kids from the South, and they were young kids. Most of them were back.
And right now we're on every mat.
Yeah.
You have someone from the Dayton area on every mat right now. A big win for Oak Hills here in overtime on mat 5.
You know, we talk about this 5th and 6th place match. It's so important because the 5th place wrestler is a state alternate. So should something happen to one of the top 4 guys, that 5th place guys in the tournament.
Oh yeah, I think it was 2010 or I think it was 2010. The kid from Harrison, 5th at districts and 4th in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it happened here because the same thing happens coming from sectionals to district. If the guy ahead of you in this particular case at 106 pounds, the Mason kid doesn't make weight. The guy that he beat, that was the 5th place guy in his weight class in his sectional came in.
Yep.
You know, if he was available. And sometimes the kids don't understand it. Wait a minute, what's going on?
We got Willie Dupker from Elders, just won 19-5, but now I see a technical violation being called. Not sure he's calling it on.
He never held a hand up.
Nope, he's just called technical on somebody.
Now wrestling for 5th place at 120 pounds up, mat number 5.
That was a weird ending to that match. That was a very strange ending.
All right, so here we are going at 120. Don, who we have from LaSalle?
We got Dustin Norris returning state champ.
All right.
Remember Dustin, 5-6-year-old wrestler, so he's been around a long time.
We got Acuna from Centerville. He was a state placer last year as well. He's a sophomore from Centerville, coming in at 33-7.
Interestingly, Dominic DiTullio from Mason defaulted in the semifinals to Norris and came back into the consolation round and is wrestling for 3rd down there.
You know, if you look at Dustin's record, he was 7-3 coming into the district, so he was hurt there most of the season, but seems to be okay now.
Well, it's the right time to be back on the mat. We were talking about team score earlier, so I noticed Springboro has another wrestler going for 5th, and they lost the last 2. And I think they're going to need every point they can get right now to keep ahead of LaSalle. So LaSalle has a lot of big point getters here in the finals.
Again, I'll keep talking about underclassmen. You know, Dustin Norris is a junior, and Luca Kuna's a sophomore.
Right.
So a lot more years left
state
for
champ
them.
and state place are going at it here.
This is the 120-pound division. This is
There's 2 for Norris.
sponsored by David Foster, who's an old Wildcat alum. Wrestled for me, I won't tell you how many years ago, but I can tell you this, he's retired now. So it's been a while, and appreciate that. He's been a sponsor for a number of years. Actually, he sponsored 2 of the weights this year, 113 and 120 both.
And Norris was really aggressive out there, Don. It's took him down, kicked him.
Yep, he's tough. Yep. And I do know Norris has already committed to go to Purdue.
Yeah.
So he's excited about that.
That should be 2 there is in deer fall criteria. Well, they're scrambling hard. There you go. There's 2. So that puts him up 4-1 here with 10 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, and the Greater Cincinnati, the Southwestern Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association honor roll, Norris was identified as number 1, and Tutilio of Mason is number 2, and that seems to have been a reasonable identification.
Did they actually wrestle in the semis, Coach, or did he just
that
default?
was based on tradition or recognition.
I mean, the default by.
I don't know.
And sometimes you'll see guys do that
I think that's what it was, because they never went on the mat.
Strategic
determined
default
ahead of time.
Yeah.
Norris is also ranked 11th in the nation by the Adidas national ranking, and 16th in the intermat rankings.
Yep.
Big kid for 120 pounds.
Yeah, he's tall, that's for sure.
Long kid.
So Norris up 5-1 right now.
You know, he scores.
Nice.
He scores so smoothly that, you know, the great ones do that, I think. They score, you don't really notice them scoring, but then you look at the scoreboard and say, wow, how did it get up there?
Well, this transition from move to move, nothing's forced. That's a nice tight cradle, and we're going to see another fall already.
Yep.
I don't see that coming loose. Oh, he's getting his arm through now. That's another 3 near fall. It's going to put him up 10 with an escape was a 10-1 or 10-2, and it's going to put it up 12-2.
Yep, wrestling good.
Norris kicks him again. Oh, a little blood time.
Yeah, I got a chance to roll around with Dustin a little bit this summer over at LaSalle. Had some open mats, and
How'd that go for you?
Boy, he's tough. He has an awesome outside sweep.
Hey, Don, I want to tell you something, man. Be careful. I'm not going to say you're getting old, but you don't heal as fast anymore.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
Don's just an old-looking 30, Coach.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh, wow, Datillo's got tossed over his back there. I haven't seen him score yet. And he got nothing out of that.
He was leading 5-0.
Wow.
Well,
He fought off in a hurry there. He didn't give up a point.
That's a crazy cradle he's putting on. Thought he went too far forward on that. Well, he's got those long legs.
He's up 7-0 right now with a minute to go. So Datillo's in good shape there. My guess is if he gets back on his feet, he's not going to tie up.
You think so?
We got Springboro winning 4-2 here on mat 5 for 5th place. So it's Kindberg from Springboro,
Wow.
Russell Kutsonis from Loveland.
Yeah, Tutulio beat Kleinberg to get in for 3rd and 4th. A 2-0 match.
Wow. I tell you, Centerville
Wow.
kid he's feeling it right now. Good for
Yeah.
him.
We're going to get some people hooting and hollering on this.
Usually, though, what happens if Norris he'll play off of that here if he settles in.
I think he's not going to. I think this time he's not going to pass up on the pin. I think he'll continue with it.
Going into the 3rd period here, it's 12-3 Norris.
It's like he chose down. Now he wants to choose neutral. I don't think you can change it. Once you choose down, go down, and the ref want him to choose neutral, or the coach want him to choose neutral. It's too late once you're set.
Mason just won, Tutulio just won his match over on mat 3 for 3rd and 4th, so.
We'll see if Norris wants to kick him anymore because he got a little uncomfortable there on his feet at the end of that 2nd period.
Acuna's a pretty tough hombre there. He's fighting pretty hard. He's getting good hand control. He fights and gets hand control. I don't know whether his illegal hold.
Yeah, Kuna came into the districts at 33-7, so certainly had
So
a good
Kuna
season.
just got called for grabbing one finger and turning it. So when you wrestle, you have to grab at least 2 fingers to break the hands, and Kuna just had one.
There's an interesting thing. You show a little bit of experience. Dustin Norris just stood there and looked over and watched the Centerville coaches to get an idea what they were telling Acuna.
He just gave up 2. Well, Acuna made a mistake there.
Yep, sure
he
did.
dropped down to the ankles, but didn't stay on his feet, and dropped right to his belly. Gave up a quick reversal. So we're at 15-6 right now in favor of Norris.
If the score gets to be a 15-point spread, that is a technical fall. At 15-6, I'm looking at the scoreboard. Yeah, 15-6. It's a major win. 8-12 point spread.
You know, watching Dustin riding pretty good on top.
That transitions well to college, doesn't
Sure does. He'll need that in a year when he goes to Purdue.
it? And as you know, I've never been a big fan of take him down, let him up, take him down, let him up. I like to take him down and
Beat on him.
beat on him, keep him on the mat, you know, frustrate him a little bit.
You know, Dwayne, we talked about it over the years. Ohio's so good on their feet.
Right.
We tend to
Where they're not
cut
that
the
good on mat.
wrestler and take him down. And
Well, that's what we learned right when we started traveling around too. Don would go to other states and you get on the bottom, you can't get out. You see your own kids break, and that's what you want to be able to ride on top.
You watch. I have a lot of extra time these days, and I love to watch Big Ten coverage. And that's one of the things you see again and again and again and again. It can almost predict when someone is, they'll say, okay, he really needs to ride this out. Well, I've been in situations as a coach when, my kid needed to ride it out, but he didn't. And,
Right.
And when you get to college, you will. or
Correct.
You won't make it.
Yep.
On the other hand, I'm not a real big fan of riding time. I coached in the day when we used riding time, and I'll tell you, it cost me more matches than it ever won
Yeah.
because guys got to looking at the daggone riding clock.
Correct. I think in high school it's not a good idea, but I think for a while we called stalling way too quick on top.
Yeah.
And it hurt us when we got up to state tournament, and it really hurt us nationally. Like we go to the Powerade and the refs out there, you know, if you're not getting out on the bottom, but you're not constantly working, they call the bottom guy for stalling.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in Ohio,
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't see that too much. Usually,
Well, I
it's,
wish that they.
onus is on the
I
top
wish
guy.
I wish at the collegiate level they did the same thing because there's a lot of bottom man going to a tripod stand-up, and that's as far as he wants to go.
Right.
And he bowls out right there.
Yeah.
I think you got to be making an effort off the
Correct.
bottom.
So Norris with
Dustin
the win
Norris.
there, 19-6 or 18-6.
That's a pretty fair score.
Now wrestling
good score.
for 5th place at 126 pounds on mat number 5 is Zumi Harney from Sycamore versus Dante DiTullio from Mason. Wrestling for 3rd
All right, so
place
mat
at
1 done. We have
number 3.
Antoine Allen from Princeton, 17-0.
Yep.
Was a state placer last year for LaSalle, right?
Right.
Yep, sure
And
was.
then back to Princeton here.
And then we got Jack Collins, who's a senior from Elder, came into districts at 39-7. So
So Collins was a state qualifier last year. Allen a state placer.
We got what do we got in 3rd and 4th down there? You guys
3rd and
got
4th, we've got Skinner from LaSalle, who lost to Allen in the semis, against Verdez from Butler. And on mat 5, we have another DiTullo and Harney's from Sycamore.
yeah, believe it or not, Skinner and Allen were teammates at LaSalle
Right.
for a couple years.
Yep.
And this weight is brought to you by Kent Smith, who's both coached and refereed the sport for years. He meets clients as needs. He meets clients' needs as a representative of State Farm Insurance. Thanks a lot, Kent. He also backed up another one of our.
Wow, it was
weight
a nice
classes.
transition there. Did you see that down off
Yeah,
the
that
shot
was
into that near
awesome.
cradle? Woo! As I don't like rolling across the back to do that finish, but boy, he's
Yeah,
got it
that's-
tight right now.
That's scary.
Yep, that is tight.
He's got tight, but Collins has that shoulder through, so he's in decent shape.
Boy, that's tight.
Yeah, Collins' right shoulder is up on Allen's head, is keeping him from getting the fall there. So he's got it up to 3 near fall now on that near cradle. And now he awards it, so we're going to go up 5-0. And back on our feet, so 5-1.
Nice
Inside
inside
trip.
trip.
Well, how about that super duck by Allen there,
Yeah.
Don?
That was
Finishing
nice.
Finishing
That was
with
nice.
that inside trip. Yeah, nice.
Dwayne, this may be the first match where we see a wrestler wearing a 2-piece versus
Yeah.
a singlet.
What do they call that? Fighting shorts or something like that? I don't know. I like singlets. I'm
Yeah.
old school. Heck, I even like to see leggings and shirts that you won't remember this, buttoned in the crotch. We ought to get a museum up.
Yep.
Look at the hip pressure by Allen right now. Wow, he is putting some
On
forward
his
pressure on him.
toes.
Yeah, he's
On
really
his
driving
toes.
forward.
That's just such a sign of good coaching and receptiveness on the part of the wrestler. Because it's one thing for him to tell them, get off your knees, and they get off their knees and throw their hips over the top.
Yeah, I do know Allen's ranked top 20 in the country.
Right. Allen chooses down here. One thing's for sure about the elder guys, Roush is not big on guys giving in, and his guys do not give in. I don't care what the score is; the elder guys will keep on coming at you.
Oh yeah. They were ranked 1 and 2 in the city coming in. So, again, whatever ranking is worth. Yeah, you're right, Don. Anton is ranked 20th. And he's going to Old Dominion.
That's right, in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're end up with a stalemate here. Yep. Back on our feet. Allen's level change is just so quick. He just does a great job changing levels here.
Good sprawl there.
Yep. Oh, Collins got in trouble
catches,
there.
Catches.
Yeah.
He makes that attack when the balance shifts so smooth.
Yeah, Jack dropped down, level change, got caught on his heels, and Allen was on that like a cat attack, and boy, that was quick. We're going back neutral, going to make it 12-2.
So I know you guys haven't been here through the whole tournament. Have you seen anything yet, or when you do see something that where you think this guy has got the stuff to climb the podium, to be up at the top step? Let us know.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see Antoine on the podium. There's no doubt about it. And he's aggressive, puts up points on Harry Skinner. I mean, he's got defending state champ. Here's a case I was talking about before where Collins is he's going for it. He'll take chances at this point. He's down big. There's no sense in laying around and losing by 10. You might as well swing away and see if you can catch Antoine and eke out a win here.
That previous match with Dustin Norris, I see him being at the top of the podium again.
Yep.
He looked real sharp.
We're going to have a hard time matching 5 in the finals. I think that's what it was last year. That's hard. That never happened. Well, I think we ended up with an additional winner. I think that way back in '98, I think there was a year when we had a whole bunch of guys in the finals, and they just they weren't able to finish it off. Guys last year, boy, they came after it.
I think 2013, Moeller had 3 in the finals. So
Yeah.
I'm sure Southwest had a good number that year.
Yeah. Big bar. But again, Antoine is not on his knees. He rolls up on those toes, and that pressure is going for it. He's going to make, I think he shows a lot of riding capacity that can be developed in college, I would think. Oh, nice.
He transitions in a hurry.
Nice.
That's going to put him up 18-4. I think he's looking for a tech fall now.
Yeah.
I see him looking up. Yeah, he's going to kick him again. 18-5. So takedown here makes it a tech fall at 20-5.
Whoa.
A little sloppy on the duck.
Ooh, that was dangerous.
Yep. A little sloppy on the duck under.
Yeah. Getting ahead of himself.
Got about 30 seconds left.
Don, you said you'd been in Cincinnati about 20 years. Where were you before that?
Well, I worked in the hotel business for 21 years. So worked for Hyatt Hotels and worked all over the country. And believe it or not, when I moved to Cincinnati, not much traffic, so I could get from work up to a youth practice at 6 o'clock, 6:30. And that was awesome because working in Chicago and Baltimore, D.C., the traffic could never make it to an evening practice.
Where'd you grow up, Don?
Grew up in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
So right near Gettysburg. We were District 3. And believe it or not, I was in a tri-state league in high school. We wrestled West Virginia and Maryland teams. Were in our league.
All right, so Antoine Allen with a 19-7 win over Jack Collins of Princeton. I'll tell you, Collins did not give an inch.
Nope,
he was still swinging up to the last second.
I think both those guys will do well next week at the
Yeah,
state
they
tournament.
will. Yeah, you'll definitely see them both high up on the podium. And we've got Datillo from Mason, just won. Oh, sorry about that, not Datillo. It was Harney from Sycamore just knocked off Datillo from Mason for 5th place here on mat 5.
He had a really good semifinal match against
Cole Skinner.
Skinner.
Yep.
That went to sudden victory, I think. Sudden victory? No, it went to ultimate tiebreaker.
Yeah, it did. 4-3 UTB.
We'll have a good one coming up here now at 132.
Yeah, Logan Hoskins from Butler, 38-1.
And then we got Casey Wiles, who was a state placer last year. He was 11-3 coming into districts again.
Hoskins has been around for a while too. I remember him from back in youth and junior high days.
This 132 pounds, and the Jeff Burkhoff Old Coaches Association. It's made up of coaches, referees, and wrestlers from back in the day. And Dwayne's a member who meet monthly to repeat stories of past glory and memories. Those guys, they'll talk about matches from 50 years ago and illuminate the sport for the youngsters like Dwayne that are there. Dwayne's a wannabe old guy.
That's right. Actually, I was actually hurt when I got invited. I ran to Ron Plasma in the store, and he said, "Oh, you got to come. We have this retired coaches association." He started naming the guys who were there. Like, they were all guys that were coaching when I was in junior high.
I got news
and
for you,
now I'm
son.
part of that crew.
I got news for you, son. There were guys coaching before you were born. So who's down there? We got Moeller, Zinni of Moeller.
Yeah, Zinni of Moeller is going against Diggs from Xenia.
For 3rd place.
Correct.
And we have a Princeton wrestler out here, Dawson.
Wow, what a scramble on mat 1. Hoskins had him dead to rights. And Wiles shot back through to his feet while he was inverted to break that up and kind of funk out of it. Wow, that was nice. Look at that.
A lot of scramble work goes on now, doesn't it?
Yep.
Scrambling has been, in my mind, the biggest advance that I can remember seeing, other than work on the feet. Scrambles today are just remarkable. We have another Princeton wrestler over here on 5th place match.
Correct. Dawson.
Dawson of Princeton.
Against Lovett from Miamisburg.
You know what I'm noticing, guys? Look at, just seems like the speed of the wrestlers is incredible. The foot speed and just the quickness.
Yeah. Balance is improved also, even when you get into the upper weights. It used to be that, well, when you went to 220 and certainly 285, a lot of times the balance wasn't there. It was just you get that much bulk moving and it would tip over. Not now. Their feet move. And I coached football for a long time, and that's how I got hooked up with wrestling, because I didn't have anything to do with the football players in the winter.
So Coach just saw on mat 1 there, they had to switch out the headgear for Wiles. The reason being it came off for the second time.
He had to do that. He had to do that in the semifinals too.
I think once it happens a 3rd time, it's considered stalling.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's some rule change about equipment. It counts as stalling now if you have to keep messing with it. Another caution, he doesn't have his chin in the center, his ear in the middle of the back. He's over on the shoulder already. So next caution's a point here. That's big.
Sure is.
good foot presence, up and working on the toes. A lot of pressure forward and down.
There we go. So Hoskins up 1-0 here. Wow, it was a nice reshot, and almost like Hoskins was surprised how open the door was there. Don, did you see that?
I saw that.
He kind of hesitated, and it was right there. Gave Wiles a chance to sprawl. And back to the stalemate.
1-0. Wiles of LaSalle trails. You're in the second period at 132 pounds.
Yeah, Hoskins wrestles with heavy hands. I do know that, but so does Wiles.
Yep, sure does.
Went for the barrel roll, and Wiles did the right thing. He let go on the far side. So Hoskins in good shape here if he can get the arm free from that whizzer.
Yep.
Oh, real nice job on the reshot off that.
Yep, Wiles doing a nice job of keeping that whizzer in there.
Hoskins goes to the dump. That's a really good scramble here.
You know, we talk about that. That whizzer saved the takedown.
Yes, it
That
did.
whizzer's so important.
I think you saw a few of those in your day, didn't you?
Yep, sure did.
That was Sid's go-to thing, man.
That's right.
I remember when Sid and Dean would go at it. Ron Plasman taught me a move years ago with the when someone's got the whizzer in, you real quick throw a Navy through and roll through underneath.
Oh, yeah.
And Dean would wrestle Don's son, Sidney.
Yeah.
And Sid was just so solid. He'd get in that position with the whizzer, and we tried catching with that a couple times. And the first time we rolled Sid through, his eyes got real big, and we never got him on it again. It was a one-time thing.
That's right.
He made that adjustment.
1-0 match here. Very, very close.
And Wiles got warned for stalling.
So Wiles has a stall warning plus
Yep.
2 cautions, so he's got to be really careful here. Wow, nice float on the Granby by Hoskins.
Nice
mat
return. Yep.
And a Granby
Boy, he
right off
floats
it.
nice. Wow.
Get some hand control and take it.
Yep. That's hard to teach, is how to float like that when a guy hits a Granby on you. Keep those hips tight. Don't let any daylight
What's
get in there.
also hard is to teach the guy coming off on a roll after you get returned to the mat.
Yep.
Popping into the Granby roll right away.
Yeah, right into the knee slide, right back at it again.
Yeah. Chain wrestling. Chain wrestling. And you're only as good as the weakest link in your chain.
Yeah, when Don and I were coaching together, we would drill that for minutes on end. We'd have the guys knee slide, come to their feet, the other guy elevate them and slam them as hard as they can. And as they're hitting the mat, knee slide to a Granby roll or knee slide back to your feet. Never let yourself get broken down.
Yeah.
And we just go like that. We set the clock, you go 1 minute solid, and do it to the other guys. So it's really good for kids to do that. Nice shot, and no takedown. Whizzer again.
Whizzer in
Holy
again.
cow.
Yeah, there's where you're talking about that far knee, reaching under the far knee and rolling, although that's not a good position to do it in.
Yeah, Hoskins made a mistake there. He came up off the legs a little too early and let that whizzer get in there. Boy, that's frustrating for a guy like Hoskins. He was dead to rights.
Oh,
it didn't get it.
That's a point.
Yep.
Got 41 seconds left.
I think
in the third period.
that's a fair call because he backed off the mat to get out of trouble. Now Hoskins needs to be careful because they'll hit him for stall if he backs up here. He needs to stay aggressive. You don't want to change your style. Yeah, we're seeing here on the stall call where Wiles comes up, he just walks backwards out of bounds. Yep. That's why I get hit for the stall.
Oh, the caution point.
And there's his third caution.
Caution point.
I think Hoskins a little too aggressive there on his shot. He should have circled around a little bit. Wiles has heavy hips, and he could easily pop him over here.
Sure does.
We got 13 seconds.
Got
control
locked.
that elbow.
You got that head and
Wiles
arm.
is in good shape here.
Nope.
Wow, nice job by Wiles
Can't
going
do it.
for it.
Hoskins did a really fine job the block on that roll.
That was a great match, and these guys will see each
That's
other
good
again next
match.
week.
Good match.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Good match. Yes, sir.
I
Good
know
match.
Wiles is a little frustrated, but it's not going to affect him next week on the podium.
That's a good match. That's a fun match.
I tell you, I love the coach over there for Butler, Coach Plummer. He was around the junior high circuit for a long time.
Yeah.
I can't remember where he was. It was a GCL school with his son Lyle, and now he's back at Butler. He's a great coach. All right, here we go.
Should have another
138.
barn burner coming up here. I know we got Jake Niffenegger from LaSalle.
He's
State-
going against
state
Kleinberg
runner-up.
from Springboro.
Yeah, Niffenegger was a state runner-up last year.
He had a close call in the quarterfinals. He got out of the quarterfinals on a 3-2 win over Marsh of Lebanon.
Yeah, Marsh is tough, man.
Yeah, he is.
He is so tough.
Fact is, he's so tough. He should be down there at 3. I can't see him.
He is. He's wrestling on mat 3 right now. Yeah, Marsh wrestled for me in Kids Club and Don over the years. And Marsh was one of these little dudes who's come in the room and he'd climb the ropes with no legs in Bowler's wrestling room.
Wow.
And, the coach said, "Hey, we got to get that kid off the ropes." I said, "If the kid can climb the ropes like that, let him have them." You know, so he was something special as a kid.
Sure
He works
was.
hard.
Sure
His
was.
brother are both good wrestlers.
Yep, sure.
So this was the sectional final match last week, and Niffenegger knocked off Kleinberg in the sectional finals. So here they are going at it again in the district finals.
This weight's brought to you by Mark Floam, who runs a pizza restaurant, La Rosa's restaurant in Cold Spring, Kentucky. Just so happens he's another old Wildcat alumni that got caught.
Yeah, talking about Marsh, he beat Morenci to get in for 3rd and 4th, and Morenci beat him last week in the sectional finals.
It was an overtime match
It
as
was
well.
an overtime match as
Marsh
well.
had back-to-back tough matches. I mean, you do a 1-point match with Niffenegger and then overtime match to win it to go. So Kleinberg's up 2-1 on Niffenegger right now. This is a big match for Springboro and LaSalle, with LaSalle in second place and Springboro in first place. This one LaSalle needs, and Springboro doesn't want to give up. LaSalle's backing up a lot there. I'm surprised we didn't see a warning there. So team scores, it's an 8-point race right now between Springboro and LaSalle. So 124.5 to 116.5. I think it's straight scoring in the championship finals. Is that right, Coach?
Yeah.
6 for the pin,
Yeah.
5 for the tech fall. So
Right.
a pin here, and it's a 2-point one, and a win for Springboro jumps the lead, stretches the lead. So 2-1. Niffenegger's going to choose down here in the second period.
Boy, I thought we had this turn the corner on uniforms. I get so upset over the different uniforms that are worn by the same team in the same round. The word is uniform. That ought to be the same. That's the way I have always understood.
That's the way I made it happen when I coach. You wear the same warm-up shirt, same shorts, the whole thing.
Round by round, I have no change in interest in changing that, but within a round, sometimes it's really hard to figure out who's who.
Dave, weren't you the one talking years ago about putting names on the back of the
Yes, sir.
singlet? So
Symbols or something to that effect.
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
I agree. Yeah. Well, the LaSalle singlet is kind of that way. At least they put the name down on the back. Increasingly, you get symbols on the back, which are, I guess, easier. I don't know whether it's easier or not, but that's done a lot now.
I tell you, Kleinberg's really pushing the action here. He's shooting a lot. Niffenegger's kind of just hanging on the head. I don't see him doing a lot on his feet to score here. Another shot He's in deep, too.
Sure is.
That should be 2. He's got the ankle on the far side. That should be 2. I'm not sure what the ref's waiting on there. That is 2 all day long. He's around the waist.
There he goes.
Wow.
I think he was waiting for enough calls for 2 before he made it.
That's going to put Kleinberg up 4-2. Now, Niffenegger almost reversed him last time, so Kleinberg needs to be careful here. 1, not 2. Be smart going into the 3rd period. Got the boots in. All right, so there's the potentially dangerous. Now, if he does it again, it's stalling on Kleinberg.
That's good. That's good sit and turn.
Yep. Well, Niffenegger is so close to getting that reversal. 20 seconds, a lot of time here. Kleinberg needs to give it up. Go 1, not 2.
Give it 1.
Yep.
Good escape there with good hand control, hipping and turning.
And again, Niffenegger is not trying to score. Niffenegger's not trying to score. He's just working on the head. So I'm sure Kleinberg will take down. Yep. Good choice. If I'm the Springburg coach, I try to get 1 here, and I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, Niffenegger has not shown he's going to take a shot.
And he's not, I don't know, I may be misreading the body language, but he looks like, Kleinsberg is
very confident.
Better condition, too.
Yep. And Niffenegger looks a little tired here.
Yes, he does. And boy, when you get tired, everything breaks loose on you. Because all you can think of is hanging on to something that gets you in trouble.
Kleinberg's doing a nice job just hand fighting there.
Yep.
He's out.
So I wouldn't do anything about Kleinberg other than clean low shots, make Niffenegger work.
5-3.
Oh, he should have reshot there. He had it. A little
now
sloppy afterthought on the reshot.
That
little cement mixer, out of bounds, yep.
Out of bounds. Both up.
Plenty of time left.
Here comes Coach Root.
Yep, that's going to wake up Kleinberg there. He's not going to make that mistake again. We see that replay on that almost takedown there.
Don't know if it's racked up. Yeah, here
so you can see it here. So right there, there's no control. He's not behind the hips. That is not 2. You need to have near fall criteria to get 2 in that situation. That was a great call by the officials. But Kleinberg needs to stay out of that.
Hit it again.
Yep, Kleinberg needs to get that underhook out. He does not want to stay there. Well, Niffenegger is so strong. Now there's 2. He's got the hips cleared. Yep. That's going to tie it up at 5-5. So 40 seconds left. We got a 5-5 match. I don't understand why Kleinberg would let that underhook come in. He needs wrist control, keep that out. Niffenegger's hit the same move 4 times on him here.
Yeah, why would you even tie up with him? Why wouldn't you just...
Exactly. Just hand fight.
Yep.
So right here, same thing. He needs a hand fight, stay out of the tie-ups. No over-unders.
41 seconds.
Right back to it. He just needs to go wrist control that wrist. Niffenegger wants to get that left underhook in. And Kleinberg should not shoot here either. Do not give it a level change to him.
Oh,
nice shot by Niffenegger there.
Very nice, a nice finish on it.
Wow, his first shot of the match, he made it.
That's the way you beat that whizzer. You come down there and crush the thing into the hip.
Niffenegger did a great job. First time he shot the whole match, and he made it count.
Yep.
Sure did.
And he's going to pick up more.
Boy, if he gives up the fall here, that's huge for the team. 2-1 time. That's big team points right there for LaSalle.
He must have got his second win. We talked about him looking a little tired.
Well, either that or he just decided he was going to let it all lay on, be on the mat at
he
the
didn't
end.
shoot the whole match, and when he shot, it was one dominant shot.
It was a heck of a shot, man. He just nailed him. That was a good match too, guys. That's fun. If you haven't been to a high school wrestling match lately, folks, we really urge you to stop by. We've only got one more week left in the high school season, and that is next weekend at the state tournament. And if you haven't seen the state tournament live, you've missed the greatest show in the state of Ohio. You ought to try and get there. This year, it's on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the finals. And 13th, 14th, and 15th. But you can follow it on Waycross because we'll be there covering the semifinals, the consolation finals, and the championship finals. We finally are back to covering the final matches. And we'll be following all our local wrestlers. And when we get to the finals, if we don't have one of our favorites in the on a mat in Division 1, 2, or 3, we'll be picking up the best one we can find. Well,
wow, this is disappointing because that's one of my favorite wrestlers in the state of Ohio right there is Austin Mullins, and we're not going to get to see him wrestle tonight.
Fairmont. Oh, no, I'm
Austin
sorry.
Mullins from Wayne.
No, Wayne.
Yeah, he's only a junior. We watched him go at it as a freshman. I can't remember who he had here in the finals. It's unbelievable. I think he was hurt last year. He's an absolute stud on the mat, and it's unfortunate I get to see him wrestle in the finals. So he got a default to Overholser from Fairmont.
And Dave, he had your perfect singlet on. He had his name on the back of his singlet. I would have loved that.
So
I don't necessarily worry about the kid's name because as a former AD.
So we got a Coleraine kid on mat 3. Smith
that's
from
Smith,
Coleraine.
yeah.
Yep, going against Wells from Tecumseh.
If we can get that, yeah, we got that on the.
So Smith's in good shape right now. He's going to come up 2-0. Wow, that's really nice too. 20 seconds left on the match. Smith takes a 2-0 lead. Or sorry, that was Tecumseh took the 2-0 lead. Smith was in control and got rolled through there. So Smith's down 2-0.
Boy, it's hard coming out of going into state and fourth. That's a tough row to hoe.
It is indeed. So
you've got 4 more minutes to turn this thing around.
So Smith got an escape here. So it's 2-1 to end the first.
Yeah, we've been watching him for, it seems like forever. I can't believe he's still wrestling.
And so Smith's on the bottom here, down 2-1. Working for an escape, trying to tie it up.
Gosh, it seems like he's been around forever and he's only a sophomore. I can't get over that. I had to look to be sure. When he came out last year, we covered their duel with Northwest or someone, yeah. And I mean, he was just
Tim
dominating.
Smith.
Yeah.
And Kyle Wells was spelled with a C, C-Y-L-E. Tim Smith and Kyle Wells.
You know, you talk about wrestlers being around forever. You know, these kids are starting at 4 and 5 years old now.
Right.
And I get calls from dads saying, can my son start wrestling? And he's only 3. I said, at least give it 1 more year.
Right.
Woo.
Let him get all his baby teeth in.
That's early. Man, but you know, in some ways, Don, I think you're right. You know, that maybe it isn't too early. Because, you know, again, I'm going to really age myself.
Wow, Smith's doing a nice job there. Big reversal. Almost got some back points. Well done.
I grew up doing this stuff in the hayfield with my neighbors. We used to go out and roll around and do that kind of stuff.
Smith made a mistake there. Got a little greedy. Got reversed to his back. Yeah, Smith was in good shape and tried to force that a little bit. Got rolled through. He's still battling, though. That's going to put him down 7-3.
That's a deep hole to dig out of.
Got 2 minutes to get it done.
Sarah and Dan Starkey are the underwriters here at 145 pounds, although they're just wrapping up that weight class. Dan was a coach of wrestling and football at Roger Bacon for many years. Actually, he coached at Finneytown once, but Dan went to Princeton, wrestled at Princeton back in the day.
I remember Coach Starkey in the corner several times because Reading would duel Bacon every year.
Oh yeah. And you knew when you went over there, you were in for a match. Well, maybe you guys at Reading didn't, but we did.
We knew we were in for a handshake because Dan would squeeze your hand pretty darn good when you came over. I always liked Coach Starkey.
Nice
He was
bar
a heck
on
of a guy.
there. Nice bar,
It's a
trying to get some
little
back
loose.
points.
There he goes.
There you go.
He needs to really just go for it here. It's a good shape. There we go. Come on, start counting for him. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. Called potentially dangerous there.
Like he gave him 2 back points.
Yeah.
When Coach Starkey indicated he wanted to sponsor a weight class, he said, now you be sure you put my wife's name on there. Otherwise, I won't be able to go to lunch with the old guys.
I tell you, if Smith would get that far arm with that bar, he'd be in great shape. He's got the wrist there, but he's not turning it under. He's right there. Get that, turn that under, and then run that bar. He's in good shape. He doesn't need to force it. He's got plenty of time. Still has 40 seconds here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's only down 2.
Right. 1 turn, and he wins it. You know? Tied or
Because
win, 1 turn.
a reversal here probably, that what you're just talking about, is going to be back points coming with it.
Yeah, Smith needs to rake that back the other way. He should come back the other side and sit with that bar and just drag him back over. Now he's in good shape. You need to go knuckles down and get some big steps. You got 10 seconds yet. He needs to turn those knuckles down on the back. He's not getting any leverage the way he has that bar right now, Coach.
You know, good job of Wiles defending that.
Right, he did a nice job. Yeah, Wiles is in trouble that whole 3rd period. He's going to feel that in his shoulder for sure. Nice job by Smith. He battled back hard, almost got it. Well, Don, here in the finals, I've got Andrew Nick from Northmont. He's a senior, 49-2, sitting here in the finals.
And then we got Justin Love, who's a senior, came in at 36-5 from Butler.
And it looks like this was the sectional finals match last week as well, where Nick beat him last week, and we'll see what happens this week.
The Love kid, I remember him, young
Yeah,
kid
he's been
wrestling.
around a long time.
Yeah, been around since he's been 4 or 5 years old.
So the team title is now a 4-point difference. So LaSalle got 4 for that win in the finals, puts it at 124.5 to 120.5. So Springboro needs to start picking up some points here. They've got a guy going for 5th place here.
Right.
They have Bells from Springboro going against Thomas from Middletown. And Thomas was a 1 coming in, so he was 40-1 coming in, and right now he's sitting at 42-3. So this will be a big match for him. I think Springboro's only won 1 match so far in the final round.
Greg Klein has retired from the announcer's job here, but the job that he held for about 20 years. And he's a proud alumni of Mount Healthy and Purdue University, and today operates Klein Properties. He was here earlier today, running around. He has to come and see all of his buddies.
Yep, first points on the board there.
Nice job on the shot. Got in a bit of a scramble, went to that cross face and broke the scramble off. Got 20 seconds here, needs to ride him out. Nice job getting that boot in.
Yep, extending him. Some good riding there for the last 20 seconds of that period.
So Nick's choice here, he chooses down. We got Bear of Centerville up 5-0 over Thomas of Elder on mat 3 for the third place match. Springboro has tied it up 2-2 here for 5th place. But like I said earlier, Springboro needs these wins.
Oop. No, they don't need the wins.
What's that?
They don't need the wins.
If they want to hold first place, they do.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
My hope would be that we keep the
Keep it in
control
Cincinnati.
it in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that. But I think that it's better for wrestling as a whole, instead of coming to a district tournament where you kind of knew going in that you were going to come out ahead. I think it led to complacency, and I think that having the more competition you get, the more good competition you get, the better off you end up. I know that sounds like a cliche, but boy, I can't think of it being any more true than in this sport.
Don, look at how high Nick is riding there.
Yep.
I mean, he's up high, but he's keeping so much forward pressure on him. Boy, nice blast double right there. Settles in, picks the ankle. Boy, really nice job.
Looking over here at the 5th place match, Joe Campolongo is the head coach at Middletown now. That man does everything in this sport.
Yes, he does.
He's the president of our Coaches Association. He manages the Glenn Sample Swoka Classic. Coaches here at Middletown, and he's getting a master's degree all at the same time. I don't know how he does that. He's married. He's got a family.
And he's a nice guy.
Oh,
On top of everything else, Don.
one of the best, one of the most wonderful guys in the business, no doubt.
Wow, Nick can just get so long there. He's really pushing the action too. With 17 seconds left, he's up 5-1, working hard to get that too. And again, watch this here, Don. He just sets those knees back wherever he's reaching for. He just slides his leg back, stays so long. That's so Love's down 5-0 going into the third here. Going to choose down. That's the only point he scored so far, is coming off the bottom of that escape.
Yep, he'll have to escape and get a takedown. Tie it up.
He'll get an escape here. Yep, he's got it.
Go.
All right, so 5-2. Love needs to ramp it up here. Nice low shot.
With a nice bar
Man.
off. Nice.
He
Boy, that's
just
hard
gets
to
long in a hurry.
Boy, that's
Wow.
hard to get in there. That's hard to finish that shot when he uses that length. Boy.
I'd say he's only about 3 inches taller than Love, but he just gets really long in those situations. Does a
Yeah.
great job of extending himself to point of attack.
Yeah.
We keep talking about the pressure on top. If you see, he's on his toes and keeping all the pressure.
Yep, staying in that catcher's position.
Yep.
Love's in deep again on the shot.
That's a stalemate, guys.
Well, Love's going to try and knee slide out from the bottom here and try to elevate.
He's not going to do it. He's got it blocked off.
Andrew Nick from Northmont, less than a minute to go, up 7-3 here. And Love is in on good shot after good shot. And Andrew Nick just frustrating him.
Got about 30 seconds to go. Dwayne, doesn't Nick look big for a 52-pounder?
He does. He's just built really well.
He's got that. What year is he?
He's a senior.
He's a senior?
Yep.
He's the kind of the guy that they would turn into a mountain of a man in college.
Yep. That was a really good match right
sure
there.
Was.
I mean, it was 7-3, but boy, Love was in deep every time. Nick is just hard to score
That's
on.
really frustrating. And you work that hard and come out second best. But
Yep.
all respect to Nick.
It all changes next week, though.
Oh, no kidding. It's a whole new season next week.
All right, so on mat 5, we see Springboro's down 3-2 to Middletown. So you got Thomas of Middletown over Bell Springboro right now, 3-2 with just over a minute to go in the third.
I think Thomas holds a record in this tournament for number of nosebleeds and the amount of blood. The guy ought to be really weak. He's bled out a lot today.
I tell you, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he lost to Love from Butler in round 2. That's where he dropped down.
Yeah.
So Love knocked him out 9-3. And then he lost to Thomas Elder 8-5 in the go-to match. So coming in 42-1, I'm sure he thought he'd be heading to Columbus this weekend.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. A nice takedown by Springboro, puts him up 4-3.
Say, guys, as we're talking about state tournaments, you know there's a state tournament that's already been wrestled this year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Wrestled what? 10 days ago, Don?
We're probably talking about the girls.
I am.
Yeah,
First time I've ever had to talk about a girls' state tournament.
Yeah, Dave and I were talking before the tournament, and the girls wrestling throughout the country is just exploding.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting to see.
I saw some reports on that tournament. There were over 300 girls who got together up in Columbus and wrestled a tournament. I counted, I think it's 24 girls from right in greater Cincinnati that were there.
Yep.
And we had place winners. Alexa Donahue, Bethel Tate was 5th. Her sister, Trent Donahue, was 3rd at 111 pounds. Samantha Caballero of Baden was 2nd, was runner-up at 106. Brooke Weisbrook of Baden was 5th. There's a whole bunch of them. Out of the Dayton area, we had a state champion, Kylie Nuskin of Beaver Creek won the 131-pound class, and had a runner-up in that same weight class, Kasla Zamet of Miamisburg. And there were another number of kids. It's a big thing. I was talking to Dick Lowenstein, the chief rules interpreter, and his mention to me was they want to really push to have this authorized by the state
Yep.
starting next year.
Well, we got this first place match here. We got Kurt Thompson from Moeller. Been around forever, hasn't he,
Oh,
Coach?
yes, he has. Against Brett McIntosh from Harrison. I thought Brett was ranked 1 or 2 in the state to start the season. I'm not sure where he's ranked right now. But Kurt, he's been rolling around on our mats for a long time.
Yep.
His brother Jake was state champ 2 years ago, 2-time state finalist, 4-time district finalist, 3-time district champ. And Jake's currently wrestling at the Air Force Academy. Kurt's a sophomore. Finished second at sectionals. Sitting right now at a 38-7 record. And Brett McIntosh is at 43-3.
Yeah, Kurt's tall like his brother. His
Yep.
brother was real tall.
The 160-pound matches are brought to you by Steve Burke, who's another one of those Wildcat alumni. He's associated now with Operation Give Back. He retired from his business and now is letting his wife lead. She's the director of Operation Give Back, which is a 501c3 program doing mentoring, providing school supplies, and a food pantry for kids around the greater Cincinnati area. It's really a cool thing. If you look up the Give Back, Operation Give Back on Google, you can see what they do. That's a remarkable operation.
So McIntosh's up 4-1. Kurt just did stay on his feet, get the stalling call there.
You know, Dwayne, we were talking about the one Marsh. You got the second brother. We got the other brother down
Ethan
there.
down there going for third. Ethan lost to McIntosh in the semifinals, 9-2. So Ethan's going against Quintero from Troy. 2-2 match in the second period for third place. We got another Springboro match on mat 5. Springboro actually won the last match. So the Middletown kid, rough finish to his career. He lost 3 out of his last 4 matches. So second period here. We're gonna put Kurt Thompson on top, down 4-1.
Typically those tall guys put legs in. We'll see what Kurt does
That'll
here.
go if Kurt's a leg rider or not. So team score is now 126.5 to 120.5 in favor of Springboro.
How many wrestlers does LaSalle have anybody coming up now?
Yeah, LaSalle has a couple more
I
guys.
think you
coming
got
up.
Walker coming up.
Right.
Oh,
And they
that's
have
right. I
Stein
forgot
going
Walker.
for 5th. And Stein's going to get 2 points for the team because Scally's injured. So 170, LaSalle will pick up 2. Springboro has nobody, so that'll cut the lead again. At 170, you have Walker from LaSalle going for 1st, and Springboro going for 5th.
Nice roll.
195, you have Springboro has someone Kowalski in the finals, and I think that's it for LaSalle. So LaSalle needs
That's
to win.
become
and
the
Springboro
new-
to lose,
the
pull
new-
it out.
That's become the new move on the feet. Going to that head and arm in there, looking like for those rolls
Yep.
coming off it. That's become very noticeable here the last
Well,
several
Trimble
years.
from St. X cost himself a trip to the state tournament with that. So he was in on a low single, got into a scramble, went for the head and arm, and the other guy rolled him through. He gave up the 4. Really, he was up 4-0. Really unfortunate turns. Young man, Scales his cousin. They're right in there. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
those head and arms can score you some big points, but as I like to call them, those are 50-50s, and they can go either way. you
Sure
know?
can.
I'm glad to see somebody that's not a pure Navy, but you mentioned the Navy ride before, and it's something that you don't see enough of. I don't think enough of.
No, it's a great move.
I think it's one of the real dominating holds in wrestling, and it's one of those that kind of slid into the past.
I can still remember, Coach Plasman and Coach Saul said both palm up on the Navy, palm up on the Navy,
Yeah.
And that was the key to it. You get that palm up and the
That's
knee
right.
cracks and away they
That's
go.
right.
And it's like the arm bar. I just watched the kid
Yeah.
trying to run the arm bar. He didn't turn knuckles down, got no leverage.
Yeah.
The knuckles down, that gives you more leverage, and over they go.
McIntosh wrestling really well here.
Yeah, watching him with Swoka, he was really slow, out of shape. He's looking tough now.
But you know what? Kurt's only a sophomore. He's got
He
2
is.
more years.
I think we talked before when I was running the junior high program. We went to West Virginia, and you could let grade school kids wrestle in junior high tournaments in West Virginia. We had 2 teams going. Don, you were with me.
That's right. I
And
remember.
Kurt Thompson was in the stands. Hey, Kurt, you want to wrestle while you're here? He's like, yeah, I'd love to. So Kurt came out and wrestled, and he did real well. I think Kurt went maybe 4-4 or something like that over the 2-day tournament. And you and I were having a talk, and we said, Kurt Thompson, 5th grader, had a great weekend. He raised his hand, said, "What's up, Kurt?" He says, "Coach, I'm only a 3rd grader."
That's right. I remember that.
Finishing 4-4. He was a tough kid.
Didn't our team take? We had 2 teams. We took 1st and 2nd, I believe.
We did okay out there a few times.
Yep, sure did.
So Kurt's down 11-4 here to McIntosh, and McIntosh is really starting to heat up.
Nice.
Okay.
Chad Dennis always
Can we
is-
replay that? I want to take a look at that, see if Coach Dennis has a real beef here.
Looked like his feet were in.
Yeah, I thought his feet were in, and his knees may have touched before his toes drug. If we could throw that last shot there on the replay. So here it is. We're going to look at it here. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So the word is the guy does our replay booth just got taken down. He's currently giving up back points. He's trying to roll through. If he can roll through, we'll roll that replay through for you as well. Now he just hit a switch, he said. So we'll give him 2 for reversal off the switch.
Down there for 3rd and 4th. Looks like it's 4-4.
Yep. It's a marsh battling away.
Yeah, we're back after Coach Dennis had a conference with the official to no particular advantage. They're back at it. Oh,
Yeah, McIntosh is liking the fact that
that's
Kurt's
really
so
important
tall.
what he just did. He got in there to that little high crotch series and changed off and went to the other opposite direction. That's really good.
Yes, it is.
That's really good stuff on the feet.
Yep.
I'm
I'll tell
impressed
you,
with.
Brett's peaking at the right time. I saw him at Swoka, and I thought he looked a little sluggish and was in a really close match there. But he's a different wrestler today. This is the type of wrestling to get him on the podium.
He's looking good. He really is.
He has a nice finish on that shot there.
Now, I think he's progressed as much as anybody I've seen this year. That, I remember what you're saying from the Glenn Sample tournament. That.
It came down to a stalling call
Yeah,
when he held the kids' hands together. Remember that?
Yep.
And got the stall call.
Yep.
He used a veteran, nice savvy trick that veterans use there.
It's been fun to watch the evolution of coaches over the years too. You can remember when Coach when Chad was Coach Dennis, when he was a young coach, he was all fire and brimstone.
Yep.
And it was he could intimidate you pretty quickly, and his view of the world has changed over the years.
Here's a takedown that was they were arguing about earlier.
We'll see if his toes are in or what happened.
May not
here.
have a good enough angle to see.
That one was not a 2. His other foot's way out of bounds. Yep. So Kurt needs to get busy. He's down 8 here. Now, is Chad's brother still coaching over at Hamilton? Is that where he's at?
I don't know.
Dave, I think is his name.
I don't know. I do not know.
I used to wrestle against those guys when I was in high school. I'd go work out at Fairfield in the summer.
Yeah.
Coach Masonic would let me come up, and I'd wrestle the Dennis brothers.
Yeah.
Were they at Purdue? Is that where they went to college?
Yeah.
Yep. And then Scott Henkel would come down.
Right.
Of course, he'd try and run that speed trick on me, so my big 185-pound rear end, he'd chase me around the room there, but it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of talent would come in that room this summer, and Coach Masonic was something special for letting us go in there and work out.
Yeah, he is an icon in the sport. You know, he's the guy that probably more than, well, the only person I can think that made as great an impact in the early days as Coach Masonic was Glenn Sample. For slightly different reasons, but nonetheless, Coach Masonic is the guy who set the standards that everybody sought to emulate, you know,
yep.
and you had to work so hard even to come close.
He was placing guys at state every year.
Yep.
You know, he wasn't concerned about districts. He wanted to get guys on the podium in Columbus. You know?
Yep. Yep.
Wrestling for third place at 170 pounds on mat number 3.
What are we to? 170?
170. It's another one of the guys I really like, Jordan Hardrick from Wayne.
And then he's going against that Neven Snodgrass, who is tough.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. Now there's one that's ranked real high in the nation, 11th or 15th or something like that.
Oh wow, another forfeit here. That's unfortunate. Hardrick is another goer.
Oh, maybe it's the old story. Live to fight another day.
I don't know.
I wonder.
Looks like LaSalle is going to win by forfeit on mat 5. No, maybe not here. What's going on? Oh, that's right. LaSalle got the forfeit win on mat 5.
Yeah, Scully,
So we're down
Scully
to mat
got
3.
hurt.
We've got Hamill from Loveland against Grog from Lebanon. And Hamill got the default into the finals when Scally from Moeller got hurt against Hardrick in the semifinals.
You know, we talk about wrestlers being around. I remember the Hamill kid was 4 or 5 years old wrestling over at Loveland when I was coaching there in youth.
I used to train with his uncle all the time. So when Matt was trying to make the Olympic team, he would call me. I'd get I'd see the little deaf relay come up on my caller ID for Ohio Deaf Relay, and Matt Hamill want me to meet him up at Moller's wrestling room. And you talk about a beast.
He's mean. He's
yeah,
mean.
He was.
He had a decent career in the UFC as well.
You know, he started his secondary. Well, he wrestled. He went to Finneytown in junior high. He wrestled with our kids in junior high, and then when it came to high school, as much as I begged, he went back with his dad. Back out to Loveland, which was the right move.
Yep.
It was the right move, but oh man, you talk about drooling with the anticipation of having a guy like that. And he's a good kid too. You know,
who did he lose to in the state his senior year? It was a real big time wrestler. He took third, but who beat him?
I don't know.
I can't remember who it was. It was a big time wrestler who beat him.
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about Snodgrass. Nevin was ranked 6th in the Adidas rankings and 15th in the Intermat rank.
I think
Again, I don't even know how do you know how those rankings are set up?
it's based on how you perform throughout the year at major tournaments. So that's how they do it. You have to do some summer wrestling, or you have to wrestle Iron Man, Powerade, or something like that.
Yeah.
That Super 32 plays into it as well.
Yeah. You have to do some of those big postseason summer tournaments, or you have to wrestle, the place be a returning state placer, and then wrestle some of the Powerades and Iron Mans.
You know, we're talking about Matt Hamill. He lived in New York for a number of years. He's back in town now.
Oh, is he really?
Yep.
Is he back?
Yep.
What's he doing?
I know he started his own club. I know he has it out of the Landon, Loveland area.
Huh. The last I'd heard, he'd stopped competing in that
MMA.
MMA.
UFC,
But he got into training for guys in that, and that was the last I'd heard of him.
Hey guys, how important is it to take first versus second or third versus fourth as these wrestlers go into the state tournament?
I think third and fourth is critical. You come out here as a fourth, you get a 1 right away. And I can remember when my older son Dean finished fourth here once. He had I can't remember the guy's name. There were guys who used to wear the costumes and everything at the state tournament out while they were warming up, the top hats and all that. But one of the guys was going for his 4th consecutive state title, so he had that guy first round. So you come out here as a 4, it's a rough start.
Yeah.
I think 1 and 2 is a toss-up. You get a 3 versus a 4. I've seen plenty of 4s go down to the 1 coming in, the state tournament. But coming out as 2 or 3, I think is the same. Third place, second place is kind of the same.
I think it plays a role too as to who you draw in against.
Correct.
It depends on the region you draw in against. It used to be, and I don't think it's quite as noticeable today as it was in the past, but used to be if you drew in against somebody out of the Northeast in Division I, and it was a 4th, it was like wrestling another number 1 down here. There was that much difference in the talent in the sport, and so you really dreaded you dreaded looking at the draw if you were down there in 4th. Right. Actually, 3rd is I think a very difficult spot to wrestle out of because you pick up a 2nd place.
Yeah, but to me, I think 3rd and 2nd's the same. I see some guys are 3rd place are better than the 2nd place guy.
Yes, I think you do see that.
I think it's kind of a wash. So I don't.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion on the whole thing is, I think the 3rd place guy is always better off because he won last. He's coming in the state tournament off of a win. The guy at 2nd's coming in the state tournament off of a loss. So, who recovers better mentally?
Yeah.
I see that a lot in wrestlebacks. You see the guy who lost in round 2. Makes it out, and the guy who lost in semifinals loses because he just came off of a loss. He can't get his head back on, and down he goes. So there's so much mental in wrestling. I just think it and some kids just don't. Some guys are happy they made it to state. Some guys get to state, and being in the state tournament, it gets to them. So it goes a lot of different ways.
Yep.
There, that 175 match down there is 4-3. Who's on there?
It's Hamill from Loveland and Grog from Lebanon, and Grog is up right now 4-3. You got 20 seconds left. Hamill needs to get busy. He wants to tie this thing up. He's not even contesting the ride.
Yeah, he needs to get a foot planted.
He's on his elbow, not even trying to come up. Wow. I don't know how that's a tough stall call there. Hamill had his elbows on the mat, not even working to a base. That's a tough call. He signaled he had his leg hooked, but I didn't see the ankle hooked in that either.
I didn't see it either.
That goes back to what we talked about earlier. In Ohio, I think it's calls like that. Big top guys make poor decisions. The ankle's not hooked there. He's driving forward. Yeah, that ankle isn't hooked. Now he's got it hooked. So 1/1000. So 1 second he had the ankle hooked.
Yeah, that.
Usually it's 5 seconds on a call, and the ref will count out loud.
Counting out loud. Way back.
Yeah, I mean, the refs usually, when you're in that position, they'll give you a 5 count. They do it. They should do that. So.
Going way back, that was correct. You had to count verbally, audibly. And you got a 7-second count. And had a guy wrestling a Maple Heights kid in 1969, I think it was. Anyway, we're in the 3rd period in the quarterfinals, and in those days, you followed the winner in the quarterfinals, and because you didn't have a full wrestle back. And the Maple Heights kid, we'd taken him down, done everything right, and the Maple Heights kid got an escape, and, oh, there's another default.
Wow, that is absolutely huge. That's Walker from LaSalle, who could
Holy
be going
mackerel.
for the team title. Right now it's a 2-point team race, and they forfeit.
Wow.
So they just forfeited the team title.
Right.
That's unfortunate.
Wow.
And that's been a mark on LaSalle's season.
Wow.
I mean, state duels they
Yeah.
dropped out of.
Yeah, right.
The duel with
The
St.
day
Ed's, they
before.
showed up with 3 wrestlers.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just really unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah.
You know, hope for a Cincinnati team
Not
staying
exactly
in the race.
team conscious there. It's individual conscious.
That's unfortunate.
I was looking forward to that match.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a good
And
one.
that's it. So Springboro is going to win the district title. They just picked up a forfeit on mat 5. That's going to stretch it to 128 to 124.
Has this
And
become a new
that's it.
standard? Has this become the
I tell you what, I do not like, and you see it more and more, this default in the semifinals, so you can hopefully get it more fresh for the wrestlebacks.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the right way to do business. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
but
I know what you're saying. I think there's a lot to be. I don't understand it. We try and make this an individual team sport. You know, everybody contributes. Everybody's got something to offer to the team as a whole, and that's not the best way to go about it. Anyway, Kent Smith again, coach and referee both, and State Farm agent, underwrote 182. All we've got to watch is the third place match. Who's that down
so
there?
in third place, we have Rutledge from Stebbins against Hall from Tecumseh. So this bracket was a 100% Dayton area, other than Martinez from St. X. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm looking ahead, Coach. Thank you.
Yeah, we had
So
we had Walker from LaSalle in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So down there is actually Rutledge, Stebbins, Hall, Tecumseh. We had Walker from LaSalle, and we had he was going to be wrestling Beal from Beaver Creek, and we had Martinez from St. X and Johnson of Springboro, and I think Martinez got hurt his shoulder, so he defaulted and gave Springboro the win. It's also unfortunate for the fans. This is our third forfeit in the championship match, I think.
At least third. I'd have to go back and look for sure, but at least 3.
And it's 3 of the top wrestlers in the state of Ohio that defaulted.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Has this become the way to go? I had a kid that defaulted in the finals in the district one year, but he had a knee torn out.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any way he could continue. But if you're using it just to position yourself, that's not good.
Yeah, I hope it's not the trend.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling's such a tough sport. The thought is that the other guy has 2 legs and 2 arms, and if you're a little banged up, you can still beat that guy.
You know, now if you're dinged up and you're thinking, okay, I don't want to take a chance on becoming more injured and not wrestle in a state tournament, then by all means, you know, sit it out. But I mean, out of 14 matches, we're going to see 3 of them go that way. That's unfortunate. Especially when you're in a team race.
And they were in it.
Yeah, they were in it. I mean, they get a pin.
Really
They get a
in it.
pin there, and then Springboro's got to win out.
Yep.
Sometimes you look at the scenario, you invite your grandparents to the finals,
Yeah.
and you get a forfeit, and they traveled, 2 hours to come see you wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as grandparents, you put a lot of miles on to
Absolutely.
watch wrestling or a lot of other things as well.
So on mat 3, who's had a real close call for a takedown here. This is Rutledge, and it looked like his knee hit the line right before he drug his toes. So let's see if we can take that through one more time, coming down there. Yeah, his knee's on the line, so he's not going to get the 2 there. And that's actually a good call by the ref.
Yep.
So 2-2, Marvelous Rutledge. That's the top name of the night so far. Man, the last time I heard Marvelous was Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
That's
when he
right.
fought,
That's
Sugar
right. Dwayne, how hard is it to breathe with that face mask?
I used to wear one, so I broke my nose as 8th grader in wrestling and had to wear one for the season. Mine didn't look like that. Mine was the old white hockey mask. Looked like I should be wielding a knife on Halloween night.
I remember.
So that one, it was okay. Now my friend wore that, had the same curly hair. We nicknamed him Panda. Wearing that. It was Ken Poteet that wrestled for us at Reading. So his son actually just got his 100th win for Loveland last year. Wrestled with Loveland, had a great career. But yeah, that was his nickname back in the day, Panda, what we all called him on that team we had.
Yeah, that was one of the things way back early, I had a guy get a nose in a tournament, and it was bad enough that he swelled up and we had to default. And the trainer at the tournament said, he would recommend, he said, you could go ahead and wrestle if you have a face mask. I didn't have a face mask. I had a face mask
with a big
every
takedown.
time after that.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to have one in your medical kit.
Oh, yeah, heck yes. In those days, coaches carried medical kits.
Oh, yeah.
Today, coach doesn't carry a medical kit.
Nope.
You got a guy coming along behind you that's trained to do it. Thank
that was an old
goodness.
medical box with a metal medical box.
That's right.
Ammonia inhalants.
Yep.
That spray that would sting like hell when you put in your cuts, and then new skin, the stuff you'd spray over a fresh cut.
Yeah, those ammonia caps were a really good thing if there was a just before a match, too.
Yeah, I liked them. I always had to wrestle last at 185, so my wake-up call was an ammonia inhalant.
Yeah.
But nowadays, the coach doesn't even think about waving the smelling salts in front so I get the bell rung. The whole concussion thing is they really watch it now.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Oh, heck yeah.
Rightfully so.
It's dangerous.
You hate to think of somebody having a lifelong problem.
I remember being in matches when I was wrestling where someone would get their bell rung and they'd hit them with the ammonia inhalant and count how many fingers am I holding up, get back out there, and away you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You were lucky, or they were lucky to get away with it.
Did you see that snap down that Marvelous just hit on him?
Heavy hands.
Oh, my gosh, he's going to need ammonia inhalants. Wow. That was heavy snap. Look at that.
Wham.
Bam.
Heavy hands right there.
Woo. Yeah, Rutledge is really bringing the heavy hands on him. I could hear you yelling already, Don. Bang, baby, bang.
Yep, bang, that's it.
All right, Rutledge with the win.
Now we're for fifth place at 195 pounds on mat number 5. Philip Tracy from Northmont versus Johan Martinez from St. Xavier.
What are we up to?
So we're going to 182. Sorry,
195.
No, 195.
Yep. Ambergy from Mason and Kowalski from Springboro.
Boy, Ambergy had a great semifinal match. He really impressed me. I hadn't seen him wrestle this year that I remembered. He really came after it. He's another one of these really tall, lanky guys. He's got so much length. It's hard to get to him. He can reach you from the corner.
He's tough, and Ambergy's
Look
one of
at
those guys.
Look at this.
Is just a fire plug.
Yep.
Ambergy's been around a while.
Yep, sure has.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Kowalski, he's a strong kid. I've watched him, his whole career as well. Kowalski will frustrate you because his hips are so solid and heavy, he just doesn't break where you normally think he's going to go over.
Dr. Kevin Riley gave us a little bit of cash to bring this weight class to you. Kevin was a St. X alumnus and today is an orthopedic surgeon. He worked on one of my knees, I know that. And a couple of my sons have seen Kevin. He works with Tri-Health as an orthopod now.
So Kowalski's real heavy on the headlock on Ambergy right now. And the team score, we'll keep you up there on that. So it's 130.5, Springboro 124.5, LaSalle, Beaver Creek's at 112, Lebanon at 106, Centerville at 103, Wayne at 88, Butler at 86.5, Elder at 85, and Northmont at 65.
Wow.
And Moeller's sitting at number 10 with 62.5.
Never seen that. Never seen that disparity. Well, yes, that's not true.
In the 80s.
In the 60s, I saw that.
In the 80s, too.
And the 70s. Yeah. That's a long time ago.
Like my junior year, we finished as district runner-ups to Dayton Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were the only Cincinnati team in the running that year.
You know, we talk about Omberg. He's just a junior. He's got one more year left.
Yeah.
So it looked like he'd taken Kowalski down right away out of the gate. And
yeah, I thought he was going to.
You can see Kowalski's really heavy on the head, really hard to get inside on. You can see the frustration in Ambergy's face right now.
What effect do you think it has in coaching revolving door? That's got to be confusing to the kids. You know, it's one thing to have some change. Many times the change is good. You begin to wonder if you have change after change after change, whether that's constructive.
You know, I think it's hard on the program overall. I know my younger son, Geyer left halfway through his career, and he had a new coach come in, and it definitely changes the way the program goes. I mean, the kids, it's a total adjustment for them. But I think if you keep some of the staff, it helps. I think at Mason they've kept a lot of their staff around when they made their changes. So there were changes at the head coach, but not so much at the lower levels. And I just think it varies. Consistency is a good thing, but if you're going to go wrestle in college, you're going to get a new coach when you leave. So I'm not sure how I feel either way about it, Dave. I mean, I had the same head coach my whole career.
Right.
I did as well.
Yeah. So I personally have never experienced it as an athlete.
Well, as a coach and as an athletic director, I experienced that multiple changes and saw what it did to a whole program. It decimated it. There were five coaches in 6 years.
Yeah, that's a lot. I think if they make it 2-3 years, it's not so much. But
yeah.
It takes a while to build something.
Oh, it does. But the demands on coaches today, especially in what can I call them, aspiring programs.
Correct.
You got to become a nationally oriented schedule. You got to develop a nationally oriented schedule. You were there involved with the Moeller thing. You know what it was like.
Yep.
And you look at guys who are coaching today who may have kids that are 4, 5, 8, 10 years old. To be on the road every week, that's hard on a family.
Yep.
Well, the other issue is, you're paid for coaching during the season, but the good coaches do the stuff in the spring and summer. You're not necessarily getting paid for it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So we got 1-0 match here in the finals with Ambergy and Kowalski, and Ambergy's been in good position so many times, and Kowalski is just, he's coming out of it. Again, he's got those heavy hips, really strong legs.
I'm impressed with Kowalski because I didn't watch him in the semis. I was watching Ambergy, and I really was impressed with Ambergy, but his opposition wasn't the same. That's just so many things are
so Kowalski's
different.
A bit for stalling here, I think. He's just got that ankle hooked. I'm surprised he kicked him there. I thought he'd have tried to ride him out. So Ambergy's been the aggressor on his feet. Kowalski's wanting to block that head, so there's a stalling call. Yep.
Here's an interesting sidebar on this whole thing. We're kind of not only witnessing really fine wrestling here, we're seeing a highly effective and remarkably respected referee. As soon as I find my page.
Wow, and there's the danger of the tall guy. I mean, Kowalski's in great shape, you know, up 3-1 and almost gets rolled. That would have been huge. So Kowalski now needs to go to the front headlock and just get the stalemate. He got it. So we got a stall warning on Kowalski, 39 seconds to go, up 3-1 here. So Kowalski needs to be smart as well and not get caught standing on his feet, get the stall point, and then the escape and tie it up.
I'd like to point out that the referee of this match, Jeff Simmons, he was just inducted into the Ohio chapter of the U.S. Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's got a remarkable background in Greco and freestyle and collegiate wrestling. He wrestled at the Naval Academy. He wrestled for the Marines. He coached the Marines in the inter-military.
Here it comes. Yep. There's a stall call, going to make it 3-2.
Yep.
And I think it's the right call. You know, Kowalski had him on his hip. He should have kept him there. So we got 12 seconds to go here. Kowalski has to be careful. You know, he needs to ride him out to win it. Now he needs to keep him flat right there and stay out to the side. He's in good position. There's no need to reach across the face, though.
That's right.
He should have stayed where he was. He's going to get the win. Nicely done.
Kowalski's tough. Boy, he's thick throughohout the body. That's a power body. He's
41-1 tough.
Yeah, he's got a core strength that is really impressive. I want to mention one other referee in this thing. Please take just a moment to think about some good thoughts for wrestling official and member of the Southwest Ohio Wrestling Hall of Fame, Paul Bronco. Paul's recovering now from major surgery that required 2, not just 1, double lung implants or transplants. He remains in hospital today in Indianapolis, and tomorrow's his birthday. I'm sure he would appreciate all well thoughts or well wishes that you can send his way. Check out, or you can send something to him at 640 East Michigan Street in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hope Paul hurries and comes back. We need officials, and good ones.
So this is a rematch from the sectional finals last week. We got Colton Quantz of Lebanon, who's sitting at 45-2 right now, and he's going against
Brandon. Yep, we got Brandon Smith, who's a junior from Fairfield.
And Smith's sitting at 31-3.
Some good records there.
So this is Lebanon finals last week, going at it again this week.
Yep.
On mat 3 for third place, we got Wiles of Talawanda and Bruder of Centerville. And going for 5th place, we have Trimble of St. X and Padilla of Wayne.
That's the younger Padilla.
Yeah, he's only a freshman.
Yeah, that's his brother who isn't going for 5th and 6th.
And their dad's the coach, right?
Yeah. Oh, is he? He may be.
I think so. I think
that may be. Yeah.
You remember the Tremble kid from
Kids Club,
St. X? He was an elder guy forever.
Yeah. Over there with the scales, his family.
That's right.
Yeah, it does my heart well to look over in the St. X chair. So I think I've mentioned before that I had a cousin wrestled at Blanchester when Zimmerman was there, and I'd go out and practice there when I was in grade school and junior high, and I'd wrestle around Tommy Wynn. You see Tommy Wynn sitting in a chair there, and then Tommy and I wrestled on the All-Star team together. And then that's my son Dean sitting next to him. So it does my heart well to see someone I admire as much as Tommy Wynn, and then see my son in the chair with him. It's nice to see.
Tommy's got a son wrestling.
Yeah, the son that wrestled here this weekend.
Yeah.
He actually has triplets.
Yep, sure does.
I can remember when the boy was born. When Tommy was over at Mount St. Joe.
Yep.
Nice man.
Tommy's an unbelievably nice guy, but he was a beast on the wrestling mat. My goodness. He was like wrestling a bear.
We wrestled with Steve Gresham down in Blanchester.
That's right. Yeah, Steve and his older brother Ross. I remember rolling around both those guys.
Kevin Riley is our underwriter for this weight also. If you go to the state tournament, you'll see Kevin up there. He works on the floor, volunteering his time with helping take care of all those kids that are wrestling. That is coming up, folks. The Ohio Individual State Championship is coming up next week in Columbus on March 13th, 14th, and 15th. And if you haven't seen that event live, you've really missed a very important opportunity. It's worth the time to drive up there and watch a day of wrestling, because it's the biggest high school tournament in the country, and a lot of the great wrestlers that you'll see in colleges in the future will be there as well. But if you can't get there, you can watch it all on Waycross Community Media. We'll have the championship semifinals. We'll have the consolation finals for places 3, 5, and 7. And we will also this year have the state finals complete. We'll have 13 matches, whether they're all in the same match or not, or all in the same class or not, I don't know. But we'll be bringing you the best we can get.
So 220 finals match. I feel like I'm watching a heavyweight match. I'm not seeing the activity we usually see out of 220s with the level changes and the aggressive attacks.
Yeah, it was 0-0 going into the second period, so not much action.
Yeah, I was not seeing the attacks going. A lot of over-unders and pushing around. The dancing bears, as I like to call it.
Jeff Simmons was talking about in one match that they called in the semis this afternoon in, I think it was 285. He got the guys, he had the two guys out in the middle, and he says, guys, we left the record player at home with the dance music on it.
Yeah, you looked out on mat 3, those guys are going at it. I mean, you've got the Talawanda kid and the Centerville kid. They're level changes, they're high crotch, and they're going at it.
Yes, they are.
Totally different level of what's going on at mat 1. Be interesting to see which style fares better next weekend.
Boy, there's a sweet single.
It was.
That and a sweet escape.
But, Cole Jones was coaching the Talawanda kid. That Talawanda kid pulled a Cole Jones, pulled the invisible leg trick. Yeah. Shot a sweet single and his leg was gone.
Yeah.
Remember Cole Jones, state champion.
Oh, heck yeah, I knew he wrestled my son Jack in every tournament finals for the year.
That's right.
And then, of course, Cole wrestled with us up until he went to high school.
That's right.
So 1-0 match. Quantz is on top right now, 1-0. He's on top in the picture here.
3/4 with it, no leg. Oh, that's scary.
That's kind of a Greco thing that he's running there. You see that in Greco a lot. They come out front and drive that without hooking the leg. Trimble's down 3-2 here going for 5th. Trimble from St. X going against Padilla from Wayne. And Quantz is doing a good job. He will not get called for stalling out front riding like that. Nice transition. We need to hustle back to the middle here. Let's go. It's like Talawanda wins 3rd place.
That's a big man.
Yes, it is. He's riding the ankle now. He's going to probably get that stall warning.
Yeah, when you talk about this style working next week, I think, you know, there's a lot of good big guys
Yes, there are.
shooting good double legs.
That was a big mat return.
So caution on red. As we mentioned earlier, you get 3 of them, and 2 of them, and the third one's a point. Yeah, I'll be watching for the Talawanda kid to land on the podium next week. He doesn't make any mistakes. I don't think he's a super experienced wrestler, but his aggressive style, a lot of movement, that's what you want to see from these big guys.
Yep, I agree.
I like this Princeton heavyweight too. I watched him at Swoka coming up here on mat 5. It's unfortunate he's not going to state. Another nice mat return. We got 14 seconds left. He's got a minute and 50 ride time.
Yeah, at least, yeah, absolutely.
He's gonna win it here. He's gonna ride him out for the win. Nicely done.
He got it done.
46-1, 46-2. Heading to the state tournament. Springboro's sprung the lead to 10 now. 134.5 to 124.5.
We're going into the heavyweight match.
So defending state champ, Padilla from Wayne.
This guy.
Going against France from Northmont. Padilla's 35-3.
He's tough. No 2 ways to describe it. He's tough. These two must have met along the way. You can't live in this part of the state and not have run into one another.
Yeah, both these schools are perennial big man powerhouses. They always have good upper weights.
Yep.
Nice takedown there.
He used to make the drive up here to Northmont to wrestle them back many years ago, and that's a very accurate description.
Yep.
This is
wow,
about
this is going to
over.
be a quick pin here. That's it. Yep. Whew. So where's Padilla going next year? He's got to be going to a big school for wrestling.
I don't know. I don't have a. Maybe I do. Let me see what I find back here.
Yeah, he'll be one of those guys that puts on another 10, 15 pounds in college and fills out real nice. And there's another school, 2 other schools, 2 big men out there, Lakota East and Springboro. They always have heavyweights.
Sure do. Remember Tony Johnson?
Oh
Lakota
my gosh,
East?
I used to go train with him as well. Yeah, we'll take a look at mat 3 here. Let's watch Lakota East and Springboro go at it.
Oh, he's going to Ohio U.
All right.
Padilla.
So Padilla's going to OU.
Yeah.
Going to go wrestle for Coach Greenlee.
Yep.
Springboro's working hard on mat 3. Just got the escape. Goes up 1-0.
And Lakota East has a guy that's at Edinburgh wrestling pretty good now.
Yeah, he was a 2016 grad, right?
Yep.
He placed at state.
Yep, sure did.
Can't remember him.
Well, we're down to the last one on the match. He's down there for third, and it's a 1-0 match. If it goes like normally,
Well, about to be
it'll
2-1. Here we go.
2-1.
Lakota East up 2-1 over Springboro.
Yeah, you're right.
We have
I think
Sharp
Lakota
from-
East holds the record in the area for most heavyweight wins, championships in Division I.
Yes.
I can't think of anybody
Sharp
else
from
that's had that
East
many.
and Johnson from Springboro right now. Yeah, I think in 2016 and 2015, I think 3 of the 4 heavyweights from this district all placed at state.
Yeah,
And all 4 of the 220-pounders placed at state.
yeah.
It was amazing. I mean, this district puts out some great big wrestlers, and it's the same schools over and over again.
What about this year, guys? What do you see for next week out of the guys out of this district?
You know, as I said before, I really like that Dustin Norris. He looked pretty sharp, and he's been to the top of the podium before. So,
God, if I was going to bet on one, I'd bet on Padilla. He is one dominant kid. It'll be interesting to see how Springboro fares at the state meet. They dropped a lot here for 5th and 6th, but they've done. I think they were just under 500 in the championship matches overall. So, we'll see.
I'm sitting here. I'm looking down at the end at the elder contingent. This is the first tough spot they've had this year. They haven't been right at the top of the heap, and I'm wondering how they're going to take that.
I mean, they're in 8th place right now. They're not even close. They're 50 points out of first.
Whoa.
But the elder kids, when they get to
whoa,
that's tough there. Has a little land on the pavement.
Yep.
And that's going to be the match, I think. He's if his head hit, they're not going to let him come back out.
In the old days, you didn't have this big skirts on the mats.
Yeah.
Don, you would undoubtedly remember this too, when the perimeter mats were about 2 feet wide, maybe.
Oh yeah.
And you got to be real familiar with the hardwood out there.
Well, guys, in my day, heavyweight was unlimited.
Yeah, same with me.
Heavyweights.
Right.
I remember Pennsylvania, there was a guy that was 4'10".
Oh, really? That's big.
Big guy.
Yeah, I wrestled. I bumped up and wrestled Wittrock from St. X when I was in high school. So I was 185.
Yeah.
He weighed 325.
Right.
Oh, Kent Wittrock was his name. His son just wrestled here recently. I saw his son out there, Kent. Looks like we're going to keep on wrestling down here.
Yep, he's back up. Someone we didn't see wrestle in the finals is that Gavin Bell. He's like 42-0.
Yep.
So hasn't lost this year. He'll be one to be in the thick of things next week as well.
Yeah, team-wise, I think LaSalle will be the ones that are highest out of this district at the state tournament.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they've got the higher podium steps than everybody else, even including Springboro. Although Springboro is really a solid team.
They are very solid.
And they obviously have been willing to put the work in to achieve. So that's good. It's good to see. When you think about the sport now across the state, as I understand it, the numbers are declining in boys wrestling, increasing in girls wrestling. What do you see of the sport? To me, the sport has become so much more refined that if you don't start out and have a solid background in it in the youth programs,
correct,
your chance of succeeding or excelling at least diminish.
I agree. I think what happens too is kids want to start in 7th grade. You go into 7th grade, you've never wrestled. You got kids who started when they were 5, so in 7th grade you go 2 and 20. You get discouraged and don't come back out in 8th grade. So I think the other thing that's happening is that kids are specializing in stuff. So if they're a soccer player, it's indoor, outdoor soccer. And so where they would maybe use wrestling as their secondary sport, they're not doing that anymore. So
that's one of the things that I think differentiates between Division I, Division III especially, because in the smaller the school, the more diversity you got to have from your athletes.
Oh yeah.
There's 10% of the kids in school, I don't care what school, 10% of them are going to be involved in athletics or some other extracurricular or co-curricular activity.
So we got Springboro's up 4-2 down here on mat 3, Dave.
I think they're going to
about a minute to go.
Well, there's no question.
There's one thing that I want to talk about that, as an upper weight wrestler, just urinates me off. I'm sitting here watching these guys roll up the mats while this heavyweight finals match is still going on. I think that is about as disrespectful as you can be. And as a wrestler, I can remember being on the mat wrestling and being one of the last matches tonight, and they start cleaning up. Can they really not wait another 10 minutes to clean this place up?
Yep.
I mean, the fans can't see the match or at that end of the building. It's distracting to the wrestlers. It's distracting to us.
Yep.
I just think it's disrespectful. These kids are out here rolling these mats up while
Well,
the
at
match is
least
still
at the
going on.
at the state tournament, you don't see that happen.
Well, you know what I'd like to see? I think every year at the state tournament, they should reverse it. Have heavyweight go first one year, and 103, the
Or go to a
106 the
draw,
next year.
or go to a
Reverse
draw.
it every year. Let the parents of those little kids sit there until midnight to watch a match for once. You know,
Sure.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's the only sport where you see this happen, and it's not good for the sport. Anyway,
Okay,
great night
guys.
of wrestling.
Okay, we've hit the end of this one. Once again, remember, it's a state tournament in a week, and if you can't get there live, Waycross will be there. Thanks to a guy that's just on the screen right now, Tony Suarez, and all of the volunteers from Waycross Community Media. For Don Jones, for Dwayne Meyer, for Dave Bean, we want to thank you for watching. If you like it, give Waycross a call and pat us on the back. Send us an email, send us a text. Look for us on YouTube because we're going to be there.
Awesome.
So long, Don. Thanks so much.
Thank you
Dwayne,
very much.
Great night
See
of
you,
wrestling,
buddy.
guys.
Great.
We'll see you.
Okay.
Waycross Sports coverage of OHSAA Tournament Wrestling. Made possible thanks to the generous support from the Southwest Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association. Jeff Burkhoff of the Old Coaches Association. A Finneytown Wildcat alumnus. Kent Smith of State Farm. The Cold Spring location of La Rosa's. Sarah and Dan Starkey. Klein Residential. Friends of Operation Give Back. Matt and Dominique Mercurio. Dr. Kevin Riley. And Dr. Stephen Daly.